Hello everybody, it's me, Riffraff Hornhelm, and I'm back again with another presentation from the Dwarven Vault, and today we have a monster review. Now today we're going to take a look at a creature called the SATYR. And the SATYR is as brought to us from the original monster manual for use with basic Dungeons & Dragons and advanced Dungeons & Dragons, or what we typically call 1E today. Now the SATYR is, well, a satyr, sometimes called a fawn. This is a 5 hit dice creature with a 5 armor class, and as you can tell from the looks, goat boy. Sometimes called a fawn, as I said, and they are something that isn't entirely aligned with what you see in mythology, but it seems to be very closely aligned to what you see in the movie Fantasia, which, okay, whatever works. And of course, this is a satyr, and for those of you who are interested, the word satiated comes from satyr, so that may help you to understand what the satyr likes to do a lot, which is the old unga bunga thing, and they're very interested in chasing around nymphs and things like that for those very purposes. Now, generally, they're happy-go-lucky. They live in sylvan woodlands only. And, of course, one of the languages they speak is Sylvan Elvish, which to me already means I don't like these things. They're friends of elves. And as a woodland creature, they like to cavort and frolic and, well, party all the time, party all the time, party all the time. That's one of their favorite things to do. They don't like to be disturbed. They don't want anybody to come into their digs without their permission. And of course, that's when they can be more fractious and do their utmost to try and keep you away. Now, satyrs don't have the best armor class in the world, but they do have another secret weapon, which is their 50% magic resistance. And in a group of satyrs or fawns, they're typically 2 to 8 at a time if you're looking at it from a wandering standpoint. And if you have them in the party, at least one of them will have a set of panpipes. And they can use these panpipes depending on circumstances to either charm somebody that they want to charm, or if they're being investigated and they don't want people to come around, they may force them to go to sleep, or they can also cause fear. Now, these are all magical effects that are caused by playing the pipes at anybody who comes their direction, especially if they don't want to be disturbed. Now, because they spend most of their time partying, these are not exactly what I would consider to be dangerous creatures. They butt at you with their heads, and the little horns on their heads, kind of like us guys, but smaller. And they do like 1 to 4 points of damage per horn or something like that. It's not serious damage that they do on that side. And 5 hit dice, well, that's not something you can't overcome. The armor class is only a 5, so, how tough can it be? It's really their magical abilities to blend in with the surrounding area. They're virtually invisible. You have to be somebody who can detect invisible creatures or see unseen things to have a good chance of seeing them. They're 90% unlikely to be spotted. And with all those things in mind, they actually have a pretty good command of their environment, and they're able to deal with intruders by mystifying them and dragging them all over the place and causing them to fall asleep. And by the way, if you do fall asleep and they're around, you can count on some choice items being gone by the time you wake up. They're known for that. Sorry. Now, generally, these man-sized creatures are neutral. They're highly intelligent. Because they're able to speak Elvish and once again, Dungeons & Dragons, their own tongue only, they get along very well with elves, like 80% of the time. Which means that 80% of the time, I friggin' hate these things. They should all be slaughtered. I'm sorry, that's my inside voice. I didn't mean to say that. In any case, they are ones that us dwarves don't run into very often, and if we do, it's usually because we're trying to go out and get wood for the forges, and yeah, maybe we've stumbled into a few places where these things exist, and it's gotten them pissed off at us, and the elves pissed off at us, and it's another mess. But let's face it, dwarves are not cut out for the forest. We don't go there unless we have to, and only when we have to would we have the chance of running into these. So we don't run into them very often. Of course, in the gaming world, that can be a bit different. And we had to go out to the Hornhelm community and ask them about, well, what's going on here? Come on, DMs, what do you think of a satyr? And the DMs came back and said they were really good at causing confusion and getting the party off track and causing them to waste a lot of time and so forth. So they thought they were kind of fun. But they didn't rank them all that high. They said, yeah, maybe a 5, probably more like a 4. I can't really disagree with that. Somewhere between a 4 and a 5. They are powerful in the sense that they have magic resistance and their own specific magic, and they're so difficult to detect. But you don't run into them very often, and if you do, they're so frivolous, you can usually find a way to deal with them. Now, in talking to the players out there, of course, they didn't necessarily see it the same way. They saw it as a creature that was really kind of a thorn in their side, pain in the butt. They didn't think they were that powerful, and they just found them to be annoying and irritating. And the response I got from the general thing was about a 4. And that's one of the few times I've seen that ranked by the players lower than what the DMs do. Not by much, but I understand where they're coming from. If you're a DM, you're putting these in to annoy your party, frankly. But they're fun. So, really, an interesting creature that can cause an awful lot of distraction, I guess, for your adventuring party. But certainly not one that you have to worry about decimating your party in terms of like slaying them all or something like that. Interesting character, the satyr. And I'm not even getting into all the other stuff that they do when they're being frivolous. Yeah, it's stuff that you can find on Pornhub, so we're not going to talk about that here. In any case, my friends, that is the satyr. We hope you found this interesting, amusing, educational, all that kind of good stuff. If you did, please be so kind as to leave us a like. Consider subscribing if you haven't. Drop us a comment. Share with your friends. But by all means, come back and see us again real soon. We thank you so much for your kind support. Take care, everyone. And remember, dwarves rock!